Welcome to EdMed Talks. I'm Dr. Adam DeVico, an educator,
And I'm Dr. Jacqueline DeVico, a pediatrician.
and we're your husband-wife duo for all things parenting. All right, 'tis the season.
Yes, it is. And Adam's wearing his nice holiday shirt. I didn't get the
Yes.
memo, apparently.
Well, if you're listening to us right now, not watching, this shirt is it's one of my it's become one of my favorite like holiday shirts. But we got this last year
Mm-hmm.
in Germany
Yes.
when we took a family trip. Actually, it was a year ago yesterday. We landed in
Mm-hmm.
Germany and we were visiting our former German exchange student
Yes.
and her family. And on night one of us being there, I think it was night one of us being there,
It was
one or two,
not the day we got there, but the
the day
next
after,
day, the day after. Yes.
we took it was a parents only. So it was Jacqueline and myself, and then Leonie's mom and dad. We went to this German like club party dance
Winery. Yes.
winery. It
It
was
was
like
great.
all things mixed into one, but we had matching outfits. Well, Frank and I had matching outfits, so he had a red version of this, like red snowflakes on the black shirt, and then Jacqueline and Leonie's mom, Priska, they had
Matching
well,
sweater dresses. So
yes,
Priska had one, a red one with Santa Claus detailing, and I had a green one with
yep,
elf detailing. So
yes, it was fun
yeah, so much fun.
reminiscing. But actually, that's a great transition because today we are talking about holiday travel tips.
Yes, yes. And I know a lot of families, especially with children of all ages,
Yeah.
are traveling to visit relatives. And so we thought we'd talk about some tips that we've done with our kids in the past, some things that can be helpful, some things that can be harmful to make the season travel a little more smooth.
Yeah, and I think we have pretty good experience. We've been traveling with our kids since they were literally born. They've taken many flights on airplanes, many car rides because our families are up in north,
Yeah,
up in New Jersey and Pittsburgh. So we've been driving for years and flying
yep,
places. So we have a lot of trial and error
true. Yes. Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah. Well, we started with a lot of driving.
Mhm.
And when I think of driving, especially with young kids going on a long trip, car sickness as a pediatrician is something I'm always asked about.
Yep.
And we both have personal experience with that, both of our
Yes.
kids, actually.
Yeah, we've had a couple of unfortunate situations.
Yes. Oh, once was in a friend's car. I felt so
Yes.
bad. One of our sons, we were driving a long trip with a family with kids about our sons' ages. And so we, our older sons were friends and the younger sons were friends. So we each swapped a kid. And yeah, our son vomited and
In their
in their
car.
car. And we
Yeah.
felt really bad about
Yes.
that.
But we've got to talk about the why. Like why the
Yes.
kids often get there.
Yeah. So, um, one of the biggest things that leads to car sickness or vomiting is looking at screens. So, why do some people, especially younger kids, get car sick? Basically, our brains and our vestibular system, which is a system through our ears, through our auricles, that helps us figure out like balance and where we are in space. What happens is it gets confused because we are moving on a road. So we are moving, but we are also stationary in a car. So that kind of conflicting signals that our brain's receiving, it kind of confuses us. And then often with younger kids makes them really sick. And one of the biggest culprits is screens. So while it is nice and easy to occupy your child with a screen in the car, that can absolutely lead them to car sickness because their brain gets focused on just the screen and it's telling your brain you're not moving, you're not moving.
Yeah, we've since then we have implemented some screen rules.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Because we don't want them staring at screens for hours and hours on end in the car.
Yeah, so we typically do what, like 30-minute
Yeah,
intervals. We'll say, hey,
yeah. We'll
you
do
can
that.
get 30 minutes and then
And then
take a
take a
break.
break. Yep.
Or if we're ever going up like a mountain or
Yes.
anything that's curvy,
Mm-hmm.
winding roads, we say, "Oop,
Screens
nope,
away.
screens away."
Yes. Really helps kids to be able to, or people to be able to look out the window. Um, not having an empty stomach, not an exceptionally full stomach, but not having an empty stomach
Mhm.
helps. Dry snacks, so like crackers, chips, those sorts of things can be helpful. You've got the anti nausea medicines, anything ginger based can help. as well as any antihistamine. So you've got Benadryl, you've got the long, which is a little bit fallen out of favor. You've got the longer acting antihistamines like the Zyrtec and Allegra. A lot of parents ask about Dramamine, and Dramamine basically is just a combination of Benadryl plus some caffeine to help counteract the sleepiness that Benadryl causes.
Now, Jacqueline could share about all the medicine stuff.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about some cleaning. So after some incidents over the
Yes.
years, we definitely came more prepared. And so definitely carry some type of bag. So the second you hear your kid say, "Oh, I don't feel what," you give them that bag. That way the vomit is not all over your car.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then, of course, you want to have some type of cleaning, like paper towels or
Or rags and cleaning
rags. Yeah,
supplies.
Clorox wipes, just something to help clean it up.
And a change of clothes because the child,
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
vomit over themselves, does not like to ride in smelly, gross clothes. I
Uh,
can't imagine why.
and that smell alone, oh,
Oh, yeah.
awful,
Yes.
awful.
And it helps to have a designated bag. I remember one of our kids started feeling sick, and I had like a nice, I forget whether the bag, it was like a department store bag. So it looked like a nice gift bag. And the child was like, well, it looks too nice, and tried to hand it back to me. I was like, no, 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 please vomit in the bag. I
Go,
don't care if
go
it's a
in there.
nice bag. I'm telling you, vomit in there, please, and
Yes.
not in the car.
Now, of course, screens are going to be one of the more popular ways to entertain the kids along the way.
Yeah.
But we've also asked the kids, bring a book with you.
Hmm.
We, you can. They've come up with so many crazy games over the years. So if you have more than one kid,
Yeah.
they could come. They can make up games. I know when I was little, we used to play a game with trying to check off state license plates.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you print out a list of the states, if your kids are old enough to, read license plates, you can go through as they're on the highway and check off license
Mm.
plates from different states.
Yeah.
You can do different letter
Yeah,
games.
yeah. We always did when I was younger the alphabet game. So you look at signs and try to find an A, B, kind of going through the alphabet. It makes it much
Like
harder
on
if
the
the
exit,
word
like on
on
the
the exit
exit signs.
signs
Yeah,
or on other cars. Makes it much harder if the word has to start with that letter.
true.
Yeah. Actually, one of our friends said they used to look for cars of different colors for her kids. And it was funny. She said, she was saying orange and purple were the hardest, and purple by far was the hardest. And I said, really? I think I would assume there's just as many orange and purple cars on the road. And then I started looking. It is very
Is
difficult
there?
to find a purple car. She was totally right. I was 100% wrong. Orange cars are much easier to find
All
than
right, so
purple
there's your
ones.
new challenge. Have your kids find a purple car on the road, or how many
Yeah.
purple cars on the road can you find? So there are ways to obviously prep
Yeah.
them. For real little babies, though, I mean, man, traveling feels like you are literally moving houses.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
Yes.
I think
So
the
many things.
littler the human, the bigger the packing has to be.
Yes, with all the things, the, pack and play or
Yep,
bassinet or whatever you're bringing for your child to sleep in, the strollers,
yep.
the infant carrier, yes, all
The diaper
the,
bags, the
yes,
toys, the
the
game.
bottles, if you're,
Yep.
all of those things. And I think when you're traveling with babies too, especially 2 and under, it's recommended to be rear facing. I think it
Hmm.
does help to have, if you've got multiple adults in the household, to have an adult sitting in the back seat with the child
Yep.
rather than two up front, because you can then help entertain the child. You can help feed them, and you can just kind of make sure that they're safe. General rule of thumb is infants should be, every hour and a half or so, kind of taken out, let them stretch. The big reason is because an infant car seat is not an official safe sleeping surface. And so um, babies can get trapped with their necks kind of pinched down, and it is an increased risk for SIDS. And so kind of taking your child out every hour and a half really does help make sure that they're safe.
Yeah, reset the atmosphere. Uh, they're going to say, oh, food. So inevitably, and I think this is as the kids get older, not babies, but I know for our kids at least, we could feed them all morning, get in the car, and then within a solid 5 to 10 minutes, I'm hungry.
Yep.
So I think we've learned that. Well, as they got older, we had them pack their own snacks.
Yes, yeah, we had them pick out snacks for themselves because yes, you're bored in the car,
Yep.
and the slightest bit of hunger means you're starving and you need something right then. So,
Yes, and drinks as well. You would have
yeah,
thought they'd never had a drink of water before when they get in the car and they're, I'm thirsty.
yep,
Bring water.
yep,
So packing food, right? Packing snacks, packing drinks. I For me, and again, if you've listened to this podcast long enough, you know I'm a little bit of a neat person. I like clean.
Just a little.
I prefer not to have messy snacks in the car. So I try to get them to bring like fruit snacks or like wheat thins, not Ritz crackers, which can make an absolute disaster of a mess. But when they were little, they had, like simple stuff that you could just eat and not make a complete mess. So if anyone's listening right now who is also of the mindset of I'd like to keep my car cleaner than not clean, that those are some of my preferences. Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, when we're flying, I know when we've flown over the years, we have had to make sure we've also been prepared with just some of the workarounds with TSA. And
Oh.
so again, bring an empty water bottle. You're allowed
Mhm.
to bring an empty bottle
Yes, you can bring
through
empty water
TSA.
bottles through TSA, and
Yeah.
that's been really helpful because
Mhm.
then you can refill them, and they have
Yeah,
most of
refillable
water
water.
stations.
Yep.
Yeah, making sure you have enough snacks. I would say a big thing too. I always warn parents about is when it comes to flying with younger kids, a lot of parents want to give them something to help them sleep on the flight. So that way, if they're asleep, they're not bothering other people. And one warning I absolutely want to give about Benadryl is about 20% to 25% of children will have what's called a paradoxical reaction. So while a lot of adults, Benadryl makes us really sleepy and want to fall asleep, with kids, about a fifth to a quarter of kids, it can turn them, and the phrase I use is it turned them into little rage monsters. And that is 100% worse on a
Yeah,
flight
that's
than
even
not even
worse.
giving the medicine. Something too, I've often seen this tip is when they allow parents and kids to kind of board the airline first or board the airplane first, have one parent go bring all the stuff, get everything situated, have the other adult with the children let them run around and jump and just get all their energy out and have them be some of the last
Yeah,
kids
there.
to enter the plane.
Listen,
There's no reason to have a child sitting on the
no.
airplane for an extra hour while everyone
As
else boards.
as someone who flies a lot, seeing a five-year-old board the plane first because they can is really bad
Yeah,
idea.
no, don't do that.
Because you're going to spend at least minimum 30 minutes in the boarding process.
Yeah,
If it's a huge flight, it's going to be even more.
yeah,
And then you've got another 30 minutes, usually 20 to 30 minutes, just to take the taxi into the
yeah, yeah,
runway,
yeah,
take off, and then your flight. I mean, you got an hour before you even take it off.
yeah.
I would wait to the last possible
Mm-hmm.
second to get on that plane if you have kids with you. But I like Jacqueline's idea with have what if you have both parents with or
Yeah,
multiple adults with you, have one adult get onto the plane first.
with
You
all the stuff.
yeah, because the flip side is if you wait till the very end to board everything, then you don't have any storage space.
Yes, and that's important with kids because, as
Yeah,
you
because
mentioned, kids travel with a
yeah,
bunch of
you
things.
want stuff near you. So there is an advantage to having your stuff in a good place, but having your kid in that seat sitting there for an hour,
Yeah.
oof, that's painful. Um,
Yeah, and I would say too, having something new or different, new toys for a child to occupy themselves on an airplane can be very helpful. And I'll always remind parents, kids have pretty short-term memory. So you can, a week or two before the flight, just look around your house and think, okay, what are some toys that would be, quiet, can occupy my child on the airplane? Let me just grab them up and hide them for a couple weeks. So then when they're on the airplane, it's like it's a brand new toy. They typically forget they've already had it,
yeah,
and that helps a lot because you've got that newness. It's not something that will have them bored quickly.
yeah. Uh, Now, luckily, as the years have gone by, more and more airlines have installed the touch screens.
Yes.
So the touch screens on the seat backs are helpful,
Mhm.
and certainly if there is one there, bring some headphones. The airlines will give you earbuds if you don't have headphones, but a lot
Mhm.
of kids hate those
Oh,
things.
I hate them.
Yeah. Jacqueline hates them. So bring headphones, but also be prepared. If it's a shorter flight, even like a regional 1 hour flight or something, most of the time you're not going to have the seat back screen. So bring that iPad if you can. If
Mhm.
you have an iPad, bring that with you. But also be prepared for Wi-Fi not working
Oh, yes.
and have your kids download apps that do not require
Mhm.
Wi-Fi. We've learned that the hard way many of
Yes.
times. because the airline could say, "Yeah, we've got free Wi-Fi on there," but you got to remember, free Wi-Fi does not necessarily mean you get to hook up to anything. Typically, free Wi-Fi on smaller, quick airline jets is just going to mean free text messaging or something like that. It's not going to be completely all the way through free
Mhm.
for like everything to hook up into your Roblox or whatever. So have them download uh, games that do not require Wi-Fi.
Yeah, yeah. And something too, and when different children have different personalities,
Yep.
and I would say we have two boys. Our youngest, I think, is a fantastic traveler.
Hmm.
He just is very go with the flow. Nothing ever seems to upset him, and so changes in routine are fine. Our oldest really is more routine driven, and so traveling is harder on him. And I often remind parents, if you have a child who's on the more sensitive side, who tends to falter when there are changes in routine, just talk through, practice packing your suitcase, practice talking through, hey, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, over and over again, kind of preparing them, almost over preparing them for that change in routine.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good point. And uh, what I always go back to, teacher in me here, social stories.
Yeah.
And when, especially when our older son was younger, we would walk through what we were going to be doing. Like,
Mhm.
hey, we're going to leave at this time. We're going to head to the airport. You're going to need to have this prepared.
Yeah.
You can't bring this through TSA.
Yeah.
When we get onto the plane, here's my expectation. So we walk through all those things that we're going to see. If any of you travel with children who might have autism or who just generally struggle with that, there's books out there that talk about going to the airport or traveling. And those are really great tools for helping your kid prepare
Mhm.
for changes in routine or helping your kid prepare how to behave on an airplane.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw it out there. Getting my seat kicked by a kid for an hour, not fun. I may have had to turn into Principal Adam a couple times on an airplane and give him that old teacher face when they start kicking my chair, because that is, I have very little patience for that because I know that kids can follow rules and expectations
Mhm.
when they are set. And so I don't want any parents coming back at me right now, like, it's just a kid. Turn around. I'm going to kick your seat for an hour. We're going to see how that feels. So it can be done, but you need to
Okay, but-
set the expectations and set the guidelines for what you expect. That's my rant for today. I'm going to step off my soapbox now. But
Yes. Well, and I think different people have different levels of understanding when kids are frustrated or upset
oh
on
yeah,
things.
yes, I understand when kids get upset and when there's a tantrum or anger. Yes, I get it. But your kid ain't going to kick my chair for an hour or more. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's talk about packing because that's
Mhm.
that's again. But I think we can regular. I'm usually the packer in the family.
Oh, absolutely. He's
Yes,
much more organized.
yes. So I think we've been doing this for years and years and
Mhm.
years. Uh, I taught my kids how to pack their own suitcases and
Yeah.
pack their own bags,
Mhm.
and it's been really helpful. So I actually come up. I take a post-it note
Mhm.
and I write down everything they have to bring.
Yep.
So 5 pairs of underwear, 5 pairs of socks, 6 pairs of clothes,
Yep.
shorts, shirts, whatever,
Yep.
and it's their job.
Yeah. Toothbrush.
Toothbrush, toothpaste, yeah, and literally explicit as
Yes,
explicit can
very,
get.
very specific.
Uh,
And yeah, and that's worked really well for our children.
yep.
Certainly, we've had to go through and make sure that they included everything just
Yeah.
to be on the safe side. Yeah, something I'll always throw out there too is I learned this when I was younger. I always, even if you're not planning on swimming, I always pack swimsuits because sometimes hotels have pools and you don't indoor pools and you don't expect them. And it's one of those things that's, if you don't have a swimsuit, you're out of luck versus most other events or things that can happen. You can kind of piece together your clothes. And so even if I'm not planning on swimming, I almost always pack a swimsuit and pack one for the family just in case because it's hard to substitute other clothes for a swimsuit.
And they don't take up much room.
No, they don't take up much room at
So,
all.
but yeah, the packing checklist has we've been
Yeah.
doing that forever, and
Yeah.
our kids do a good job with it. And I don't know. I think there's something to be said about building responsibility
Yeah.
and building accountability
Hmm.
because we tell them, look, if you forget to pack it and it was on that list, that's on you.
Yeah. Yeah, as the kids have been older. Now, with
Right,
the
right, right.
younger
Of
kids,
course,
preschool age, early elementary school, we would double check.
of course.
I say we Adam would double
I
check and make sure they had it. I'll give you credit where credit is due. But as they've gotten older, I say yes, it's on them and natural consequences. If
Yeah.
they forgot to bring extra pairs of underwear, then they get to wash their underwear in the sink with hand soap and let it dry and deal with that.
Although they would just as happily wear dirty underwear.
It depends.
It's boys. They don't care. So this season we get to stay home this year. We're not traveling anywhere this year,
No, we're not. With
and
opening a new business, we thought it'd be too much to travel.
yeah, yeah, we want to be here for our members and our
Hmm.
patients and
Yeah.
be available for them. But yeah, I hope everyone who is traveling
Mhm.
this year has safe and successful travel. Obviously, the travel season is always crazy, whether you're
Mhm.
driving somewhere. Expect traffic. If you're
Yep.
flying somewhere, expect long
And
lines
delays.
and delays. Although weather, I was just checking weather, at least on the East Coast, we're on the East Coast,
Yeah.
it looks okay-ish right now.
Yeah.
So hopefully, cross your fingers, the travel season is not too bad. Um, so yeah, I guess that's it for travel season.
Mhm.
And we have some really exciting new episodes coming up
Yeah.
after the holidays.
Yeah.
So we hope you continue to tune in, watch us on YouTube, or
Yep.
listen to us on your favorite podcasting app. We just want to thank you guys for being a part of EdMed Talks
Yes.
for all these years now, and hope you continue being that. Happy 2026 soon.
Yes.
So, want to wrap us up?
Absolutely. As I always end every episode, I remind families that there's no such thing as the perfect parent, but you can be the perfect parent for your child.